हेलो, हाय एवरीवन, कैसे हैं? मैं हूँ आपकी सोनल फ्रॉम यूएसए और आज मैं बात करने जा रही हूँ आपके साथ अबाउट स्टूडेंट वीज़ा विच इज़ कॉल्ड F1. आपने सुना ही होगा. And the most awaited visa for the students who are very keen, very eager to come here to the United States. So let's talk about it. आप सोच रहे होंगे कि F1 वीज़ा तो इजी होना चाहिए, sponsorship लगती है, you get admission, you apply to many colleges, universities and you get selected based on your scores, and once you are fully funded, it's just a matter of formality, but that is not true. So let's talk about the interview, how it happens. मेरे काफ़ी students हैं जो अभी आए हैं इंडिया से, and I'm going to share the recent COVID-19 experiences of the F1 visa interviews. And before we proceed to that, who I am. So I am HR professional, coach, mentor to many students who aspire to come to US, and also to the professionals who are working here or either on H1B or L1 or any other work visa, to guide them, coach them about their employment, if they're looking for career shift, if they're looking for job changes, if they're looking for visa changes. I normally guide them, I work with them, and I see a lot of such cases being an HR professional in my own company where I see people going through different situations. So I would love to share that experience with all of you in this channel, along with lifestyle, travel, and of course food के बिना तो हम लोग रह नहीं सकते, right? So let's come to now F1 visa, and I'm going to first run through the interview experience, and then at the end I'm going to give special tips that I've never seen people talk about for an interview. So please keep watching this till the end. First thing, for the F1 visa interviews, you will have your documentation, biometrics हो गया, then you have to keep your documentation ready, जैसे कि आपका वो I-20 फॉर्म है, आपके प्रॉपर्टी डॉक्यूमेंट्स है, बैंक बैलेंस डॉक्यूमेंट है, FD डिपॉजिट्स, blah blah blah. I know that you know everything about the documents. Keep all the documents ready. Now when you go for an interview, I've seen that very set of questions, and consider interview as an elevator speech where you have literally 5 to 7 minutes to impress the interviewer, and in that 5 to 7 minutes you have to cover everything that a visa interview is asking you in a very crisp and concise manner. So it's like a sharp shooter. You have to be very concise when you're talking. So अभी जो मेरे 2-3 स्टूडेंट्स आए हैं हाल ही में जिनके साथ मेरी बात हुई है on the F1 visa in this COVID-19 pandemic situation, so when I talk to them and when I understand the questions, and I have seen this pattern of the questions even in the past, that normally they ask okay, why you're choosing to do your masters in US. And the second next question is, which program or which university you have chosen. Then you will answer whichever university you choose. Then they will ask the third question, that why this particular university or why this particular program you have chosen. So out of say 10 universities, if you got an admission say in 3 to 5 universities, they will definitely ask this question कि ये 3 या 5 यूनिवर्सिटी में से आपने सिर्फ ये यूनिवर्सिटी क्यों ली बॉस्टन की. सपोज यू हैव चोजन बॉस्टन यूनिवर्सिटी और नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न यूनिवर्सिटी यहाँ पर बहुत फेमस है, और डार्टमाउथ यूनिवर्सिटी यहाँ पर फेमस है, तो वाई यू हैव चोजन दैट पर्टिकुलर यूनिवर्सिटी. सो यू हैव टू बी वेरी क्लियर, कंसाइज विथ योर आंसर, वेयर यू विल शो एंड यूज योर रिसर्च. वाई दिस यूनिवर्सिटी, आपने तो रिसर्च किया ही होगा कि ये यूनिवर्सिटी में ये कोर्स करिकुलम है और इसमें ये नहीं है और ये फैकल्टी है. सो all that experience or research will be useful to answer this question, and you should be ready with your answer. Now next question is most important question कि who is sponsoring your education. ये तो पूछेंगे क्योंकि यहाँ आके when you have to stay, it is going to be expensive affair, along with your tuition fees, your stay, your insurance and everything. So obviously this question is very important for them to know how you're going to fund yourself. and most of the cases it is your parents or your relatives who are funding you for your higher education, either through loans or they have their funds secured for that through their property or real estate. So वो आपको mention करना पड़ेगा कि you have these funds secured and your parents have secured these funds and they have real estate or mutual funds or whatever through which they are funding your education. Next is they will ask what do your parents do. Again, you will have to be very concise and tell what your parents do. If they're working for XYZ organization, you can mention that and you can tell that your parents are working for this organization. Now next comes the tricky question. Now they will ask you, what is your plan after you complete your master's degree? And this is really a tricky question. Now here you really cannot answer that I am going to stay here and work here forever. So you have to be very concise. Maybe you will say that you will work here for say 1 or 2 years and you definitely have plans to go back to India because you have your parents, you have your roots there. They really want to see your firm affiliation to India and believe that you will definitely come back to India or go back to India from US. If they do not see that kind of affiliation, the chances are there that the visa would get rejected because they don't want people to come here and stay here because they believe that all the foreign workers are coming here and taking the jobs of the local employees or American workforce. So this is kind of a tricky question, remember, and be very well prepared for this answer. What should be the answer? Now these are kind of a standard set of questions. इसमें आप preparation तो कर लेंगे. You can do your mock interviews with your parents. You can actually look up in the mirror and do the rehearsal and keep your answers ready with careful selection of words, everything, so that you have them ready in your mind. And when you go for interview, you really don't fumble for words or use I will do this after my masters, I will look for a job here, and then so if you do that, chances of rejection 100%. To avoid that, be well prepared. Now with this, these are standard set of questions, as I said. I mean, I have not seen much of the changes in the pattern. Sometimes, in fact, you won't believe that visa interview, depending on his mood or her mood of the visa interview, it will just get kind of done in like 2 minutes. They will not even ask you question. They will just ask you, okay, which university you're going, okay, who is funding, approved. Sometimes they may just go into much detail asking who approved, who is sponsor, why this university, why these courses, and so they may go into detail, and the interview may last up to like 6 to 7 minutes. Now the most important tips that I've never seen that people talk about in these interviews is the importance of your grooming, your confidence, and how you talk to the visa officer. And that is the key, and that is what I wanted to talk to you in this video, that when you appear for the interview, remember, it's not just about your university, your course curriculum, your research, your finances and funding. It's also about how you present it to your visa officer. So meaning, when you go there, you first of all need to appear very confident. Second, your grooming, very important. I have seen that the least importance is given. Avoid wearing checkered shirts. Try and wear the plain shirt and trouser, very formal outfits, and go. Tie is kind of, not really mandatory. Some people prefer, some people don't prefer. If you're not comfortable, it is okay not to wear. You're a student, not expected to wear tie. As a professional, somebody going for H1B, yes, I would recommend them wearing tie. But as a student, you need not really wear your tie or something. You can just go in a formal wear. When you go there, first you greet the officer with a smile, saying good morning, and then the question answer session would start. When you talk to them, have your eye contact with them. Now, you probably have not seen the consulate. If you've not seen, or many people or your counselors or your friends probably have told you that there's a glass in between. there is a glass fully closed where you have just a little opening at the end from where you just slip through your documents, and there is a microphone on the side. So whatever you hear is through the microphone, whatever you talk they also hear it through the microphone. So you have to be a little careful about what they talk and what they ask. If you do not understand question, there is no harm asking that can you please repeat the question. Or I also tell students that be prepared with the state information, that if you're going to say Chicago, have some information about it. So sometimes some officers are very friendly and they may just say, hey, you know that it's a windy city, so be ready with lot of windy clothes or a lot of winter clothes. So they may talk about the cultural aspect. So be mindful, that also can be a tricky or a catchy question, and you need to be prepared with that if you're going to say Texas, about the weather or anything else. So you need to know some of the things, some of the slangs about that particular state. You can smile and say, yes officer, yes I did see that it's a windy city. So something like this just to strike a conversation is good, but for that you need to have the information about the state. So about the confidence, smile, very positive attitude in your mind that yes, you will crack this through, and without being nervous. Sometimes if you get nervous, I know that people just feel that their mouth gets dry and they're not able to speak, or they just start kind of fumbling, or start coughing. So just take a deep breath. As I said, moment you reach the window, smile, good morning, let them start with the questions. And because you practiced, you have done mock interviews, you can simply answer these questions, which are a set of standard questions. And even if you come across a new question, just do not get fumbled. Just think carefully and answer. And if you're not able to understand the question, ask them to reiterate. It's like an elevator speech, and it's going to be very crisp interview. So I have seen the experiences where some students just got like 1 or 2 questions and got approved visa, and some of the people with 1 or 2 questions they also got rejection. So both the cases are possible. Chances are absolutely 50-50%, and that's why you need to be well prepared. So my suggestions and tips now. You need to be well prepared. You please practice the mock interviews with these questions with your parents in front of the mirror. If you want, you write down the answers clearly, what you want to answer about each questions that I talked about, which university, why, have your research ready, and keep those answers in 1 or 2 lines ready. Why this university, 1 or 2 lines, why this curriculum, 1 or 2 lines, that you can talk about. So at the time of interview, you really don't have to think what should be my answer, and you don't look or search for the words, which happens, or you start fumbling. The most important thing that I have seen is that the visa officers look for is your confidence. They look for your confidence. So when you talk to them, make eye contact. When you go there, first you greet them, good morning, and then they will start conversation. Have eye contact with them, and as they ask questions, answer very precisely for those questions. Another thing is also the forms or the paperwork that you require, like I-20, then passport, then your property documents, bank statements, and any other forms that you have. So make sure that you know the order and everything. So if at all they ask for any paperwork to show, you know exactly where it is. You don't have to like search to flip through the papers. But I can tell you that 99% of the time, officers have not asked for the paper of the form. It is already there in front of the system. It's only that they are not seeing the documents or the evidences, but if they ask, you should have it, like tax filing or property documents of your parents, etc. That is important thing. And as I said that I've seen that most of the people are focused on the questions, but grooming is also important. So the way you groom and the way you first present yourself is 50% impression is done. So in US, I have seen that your presentation, your grooming, and your soft skills matter a lot. So you may have a lot of alma mater and you are really talented, but if you're not able to present in front of the visa officer with the knowledge that you have or the information that you want to communicate, then you may get a rejection. So be prepared from all these perspectives. As a student, when you're going, I would suggest just wear clean, neat, light color, formal shirt and trouser. Wear a smile when you go in front of the visa officer. Greet with smile, saying good morning, and as they start asking questions, keep calm, composed, and think that you have got the visa. So positive attitude, because the moment you have that positive attitude in you, it is going to reflect when you answer. If you are not confident, if you're nervous, it is going to reflect on your face, on your gestures, and in your body language. So you have to be very cautious about all these things, and that's where I would say that even when you go for an interview, you don't have to be nervous. I mean, it is just an interview. They are there to help you, but slight nervousness or mistakes, in using words or fumbling about the words may cause rejection. And that's where you have to be very cautious and firm about your answers. So if the interview is well rehearsed with these questions, if you have, well groomed, smile, be confident, greet officer, know your answers well, and trust me, your interview may not even last more than 2 minutes. You will be just done. They will just ask you probably, which university you're going, which courses you're taking, and you answer, present them well. They may just say approved. If you're not confident, even if you just start thinking or you start using filler, then they would ask you more questions, and then the chances are there that it might get rejected. I have also seen rejections in F1 visa interviews, and there are people who were not able to come here in US for the higher education. So to avoid this disappointment, I would highly recommend that you follow these steps and be ready for your F1 visa interview with set of documentation, well groomed, pleasant personality, confidence, cool and calm nature, and you will rock it. So good luck. I was telling, and the question answers that I was talking about are current. Absolutely. The people or the students who came in this pandemic, in the COVID-19, in September time frame, October time frame, these are the questions they were asked. And from my personal experience and the coaching that I do, this is my advice. So wish you good luck for your F1 visa interview, and if you found this video useful, give me a like. Please share this video. Please stay tuned and subscribe to my channel, Sonal from USA. Keep watching my channel. Till then, bye bye.